Okay. Okay. We're going to get started right away. Michelle, are you good?
I am good.
Okay, so just keep an eye out if anybody else pops into the waiting room. So we learned, friends, that with Zoom, I guess ever since the pandemic, you can't just get into a Zoom anymore. You either have to have a waiting room or you have to have a password. So anyway, we chose the waiting room option. So Michelle's just going to keep an eye on that. But welcome. Thank you guys so much for joining us tonight. Michelle and I are going to introduce ourselves first, and then I'm going to take part of our presentation tonight, and she's going to take the other part. But one thing that we both have in common is we both have a chronic illness that has been drastically changed for the better because of Q Sciences. So we're going to go through everything with you guys, and we're going to keep an eye on the chat if there's any questions, but you are definitely going to hear some awesome testimonials between the two of us tonight. So I'll introduce myself first, and then she can, and then I'm going to do the first part of our presentation. So my name is Nguyen. I'm going to tell a couple stories, try not to be too lengthy, but as far as my experience in business and in network marketing, I am a 3-time failure. And then I finally had like my first win in 2016. So don't think that everybody that does this business and finds success just has been successful at everything they've ever done. It's definitely not the case. It took a lot of learning and growing and figuring things out. And probably the one thing that you learn to figure out is that it's about connecting people with products and making personal connections with people and not selling, if that makes sense. It was probably the thing that finally clicked in my head, that it was about community forming. And that's really what helps set you apart from the rest of people in network marketing. But I first got in and tried and failed when I was 18 years old. And then it was in 2016, like I said, when I finally had my first success story. I am a boutique owner. That is my main job, but this is very quickly taking over, and hopefully will eventually be like my primary income, and my boutique could become my secondary income. So that's my network marketing background, but really the health aspect of things, I really want to dive into that because it's going to connect to my story later tonight in regards to my chronic condition. I was a super sick kid growing up, you guys. And when I say super sick, I mean in 7th grade, I missed a third of the school year. They did not know if they were going to let me move on to 8th grade. And I was sick with all kinds of things. Chronic illness was part of it, but the other part of what I dealt with was just getting in general sick all the time. Sinus infections, bronchitis, flu, like my immune system was in the toilet. And I had absolutely no clue that I could take control over my own health. And then a couple of years ago, a doctor who's also a naturopathic doctor, she told me, you can take control over this and I can teach you how. And I did not take her up on that offer to teach me how, because it scared me to death. I thought it was going to be complicated. I thought I wasn't going to be able to do it. And so I just ignored that and continued to get sick quite literally all the time. I was that person that instead of somebody saying, "Oh, I hope you feel better," it was, "You're sick again." It's just kind of my life. Then insert 2020, and both of my parents got COVID super early on. I became absolutely terrified. People were telling me, like, you really need to prepare for worst case scenario with mom and dad, which was not what anybody wants to hear ever, especially in the midst of what we were dealing with the lockdowns and all of that. But in the back of my mind, I knew that I'm a super sick person. I get sick all the time. And if there was anybody that was going to get this, it was going to be me. And everybody handles stress differently. For me, I researched and I finally buckled down and I learned how to take care of myself. And you guys, I haven't been sick in over a year. And now I finally have these products in my life that are making my natural wellness journey like that much easier and smoother. And it's just kind of encompassing everything that I've learned in my own personal research under one umbrella. And we'll get to what all of that is later with the products. So now Michelle can introduce herself. Michelle, you guys, she is amazing. She is just amazing to listen to. Her story is incredible. She also owns a boutique and she is so incredibly devoted to her team and helping them succeed. So without further ado, Michelle can say hi to everybody.
Hi guys, my name is Michelle Phillips. I am a blended family mom of 6. We are an actual Brady Bunch. I have 3 girls. My husband has 3 boys. We're just missing our Alice. I want to know when that comes. But no, so I get to be Alice, right? I am also a boutique owner. Like Allie said, I've been a full-time boutique owner as my full-time income for the last 5 years now. And the reason I did that was actually my chronic illness. I was trying to find a way to still earn an income while managing, I have rheumatoid arthritis, while managing my RA. I was recently diagnosed back when I started, and I just hit a point where I was in corporate America. I was working a full-time job. It was a really high stress job. I managed a team. I was working multiple different locations, managing multiple locations, and it just got to be too much. I couldn't do it anymore. My doctors kept telling me, you know, stress is a big trigger for autoimmune disease. You have to find a way to reduce your stress level. And I was like, I work full time and I have 3 kids. How can I do that? How can I find time to rest? So for the past 5 years, I've been on a quest to find a way that I can earn an income without having to compromise my health. And Q has just been the absolute perfect blend of all of those things together. It's just been an amazing journey. I am someone who has tried pretty much every supplement out there under the sun. So when I tell you this stuff is good, you can take me at my word, because I've literally spent thousands of dollars on supplements trying to help my chronic condition. So that's me.
Yay, I'm so excited to hear the rest, or for you guys to hear the rest of her testimony. I have heard it and it's amazing. Michelle, you'll have to tab for me. Okay, awesome. Thank you. I just was like tabbing and it wasn't working. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm not the host. Okay, so you guys are here to learn about Q Sciences. So we're gonna get into a little bit of that, but I'm not going to go into insane detail. If there is a specific area that you want to learn more about, get with the person that invited you, because we have all of the details. If you are like that super detail-minded person and you want to know everything, we can totally do that. I am that person. I like to know everything, but I'm also a very small percentage of the majority. So we're just going to kind of cover the basics for you. One of the questions that I had when I was approached by this, because I was told that it's ground floor, and you guys are going to see what I'm talking about here in a minute. But my concern was, okay, so does that mean the products are brand new? Does that mean this stuff hasn't been around that long? Has it been tested? You know, all those things crossed my mind. The products have been around for over a decade. That part blew me away. And I'm like, okay, they've been around for a long time. They've been third-party tested. They have an incredible track record. They have over 85% customer retention because they do what they say that they are going to do. Why has like the world not heard of this? So I'm going to go over why that is with the next slide when I introduce you guys to these 3 men that quite literally are like a trifecta of awesomeness. So Mark Wilson is our founder and CEO. You may have heard the name before. That's because he was an NFL football player. He went through several Super Bowls, but then when he retired, he got into real estate, and then he found himself on the golf course most days. And one day while driving home from the golf course, he realized he is just bored out of his mind. There has to be more to life, is what was going through his head, and he wanted to make a difference. He met Dr. Stephen Kimberly, and they formed what we now know as Q Science, and they launched our core product, which Michelle will get into later. Dr. Kimberly is not just a doctor. He is also a naturopathic doctor, which spoke volumes in my mind. I really am leaning personally towards like anything natural. That is what you're going to find here. But he is actually a former editor from WebMD. May have heard of that before. I'm like, wait a minute, hold on. Our chief science officer worked for WebMD for 15 years. Yes, you can look it up. I actually Googled it just to make sure what I was being told was actually accurate information. So those 2 got together. We had the amazing products. They were getting in the hands of customers. There was a really high reorder rate. However, we did not really have a compensation plan to make any of this attractive for anybody to want to get involved. And Mark wanted to get this out there. He really wanted to spread the word. He wanted to get more products in the hands of more people. He wanted to change lives for people who wanted to be ambassadors. So insert Jake Spencer. If you ever get the privilege to hear this man speak, you'll just want to listen to him all day long. He is absolutely amazing. And he's brilliant. He is a self-made millionaire from network marketing and retired his family when he was like 30 years old. He is incredible. And he was like, okay, you got these awesome products. The products aren't the issue. There's nothing to attract people to want to jump on board with you. And so the compensation plan that I'll be going over later in this presentation is from the mind of this amazing man. So the compensation plan came from Jake, the awesome products came from Dr. Stephen Kimberly, and then Mark founded everything. So these three guys together are literally why we are here today. All right. And next, I think we're going to talk about this part real quick. And then I think Michelle gets to get into the products a little bit with you guys, which I'm sure you're dying to hear about. So I talked about ground floor. You may have heard that term before. You also probably have heard the term saturation, and you can see on this chart the X we are here. And I really want to drive home the importance of that. I truly believe that what we have going on for us is a combination of a couple things, and it's the right products that actually, again, they do what they say they're going to do. The right timing within the company, but also the right timing just in general. We're living in a day and age where if there was ever a silver lining to 2020 is that more people truly care about taking control of their health, taking their health into their own hands. People who do not really pay much attention to their health before are starting to pay attention to it now. So we got this new comp plan, and that is what started to slowly cause us to move into that momentum stage. But then I think 2020 kind of like did it. And now everybody is very health focused. So my story, I told you before that I did experience success in 2016 with a company. I kind of came in like at the top part of that momentum when we were getting into saturation. So I experienced some like quick growth, and then it like halted, because as you can see, when it gets into saturation, unless you drastically change the company and you're bringing in like a ton of new products and a ton of things to keep people like actively wanting to seek out the company, it really does start to plateau eventually. So I experienced that. The company that I went to after that was ground floor, all the way at the bottom. And that isn't necessarily a good thing either, because sometimes you never get past ground floor. And that's exactly what happened to myself and actually Michelle. We were with the same company, and we thought it was going to be great, and then it just fizzled. And that can happen. So we're past that part. We're past the risk of, is this never going to take off? But we're way before the saturation. So in the world of like right timing, it couldn't be better. We're already in a lot of countries, and the plan is to send that like through the roof within the next 5 years. And going international is key for like a company to be able to maintain and have like a really good thriving like longevity. So that is where we're at right now.
All right, so now we get to talk about the products. So these products are seriously incredible. And you can take it from me, I am someone who has tried pretty much every product out there. So just a little bit more about me. Like I said, I was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis about 6 years ago now. And it was actually pretty severe and debilitating. By the time I was diagnosed, I already had to have a tendon repaired in my ankle because the inflammation in my body was so bad that the inflammation in that tendon caused a tear, not from an injury, not from anything else. And I had to have surgery on my ankle joint. Basically, by the time I was diagnosed, it was already really bad. So the doctors got me on medications, obviously, but they weren't working. They weren't doing what they needed to do. And I desperately needed my mobility, right? So I started on a quest of natural products that help. My rheumatologist even pushed me to try some of these more natural products, things like turmeric, things like CBD. My rheumatologist has been pushing those on me for years, which is great because they really can help certain conditions. And I tried them all. I had a medically diagnosed vitamin D deficiency. It took me years to find a high quality vitamin D supplement that my body actually absorbed in order to get my vitamin D levels to recover. So many supplements on the market, even though they might have those certain things in them, if it's not in those supplements in a way that's bioavailable to you, you just end up peeing it out, basically. Sorry to be graphic, but That's what I was doing. I was throwing away thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, basically literally flushing it down the toilet, right? In a desperate attempt to try to find anything that would help my mobility. And sorry, guys, lost my train of thought right there for a second. But it even got to a point where, like, my mom, God bless her, she's so well-meaning, trying to help. My mom would come to me and say, you know, Michelle, I heard that someone else has rheumatoid arthritis and this is really helping them, or you should try this. And it got to the point where I looked at my mom and I was like, Mom, do not even bring that to me anymore. I don't want to hear about it. None of it works. It's all just a waste of money. And that's kind of where I was at. When Q Sciences was presented to me. I had a friend who had joined the company and was sharing about her success with the products. And I was like, you know, I have tried a bunch of products like this. This one seems to be different. Their claims, actually, their things are bioavailable. It's formulated in a way that your body can absorb. I thought, man, I've already spent a lot of money on stuff like this. It's worth a try. I ordered the Q Core, and which we'll talk about in a minute, which is our company's absolute like staple product. And I ordered the Fuse, which is our full spectrum hemp. And I was like, I've tried all this stuff before. I don't think it'll do anything. And after 3 days, I hadn't really said much about it to my husband. My husband came to me, and no lie, I swear to you, this is the truth. He's like, what are you doing different? Because you have so much more energy. I noticed you're not, like grunting and groaning when you're trying to get up out of the chair. What are you doing different? I can tell you're doing something different. And I was like, no way, you can even tell? But it was that quick and that dramatic and that fast for me. So when I say these products work, they have worked miracles for me. They've helped me so much with my brain fog that comes with rheumatoid arthritis. They've helped manage my RA fevers. A lot of people, or at least I do, when my RA gets out of control, I run a fever just like you would with the flu. And the Fuse, seriously, I take that and 20 minutes later, it is down to normal. It's been absolutely incredible for me. So we have a full line of hemp products, full spectrum hemp, but we also have non-hemp nutraceuticals as well. They have kids products. They have products for fitness and weight loss. The vitamin sprays are fantastic. After I switched to the vitamin D spray and I went and got my vitamin D levels tested, because that's something my rheumatologist routinely monitors. She told me for the first time, my vitamin D levels weren't like in the low good range. They were in the good range. And I had tried countless brands of supplements before. So to me, right off the bat, that was like, wow, that is like actual scientific proof that this is helping my body. It's incredible. And I had struggled for years to find ones that would work for me. So, and my kids, I started my kids on the kids core. And it's so funny. My 10-year-old boy, you know how boys are. He came up to me the other day. He's like, I know that stuff is really working because I can concentrate a lot better in school and I don't have such a hard time doing poop. I know, it's, 10-year-old boys, what can they do? But when
hey, Michelle, I'm sorry to interrupt you. I think I'm getting a message that somebody might be in the waiting room. Do you see anybody?
Oh, sorry. Let me see.
That's okay.
I do. There we go. Sorry, I got all distracted talking.
Oh, no, it's okay. I wish we could have like multiple hosts. Maybe we'll figure that out next time.
I know.
Welcome for whoever just jumped on. All right, continue your story. Sorry.
No, that's totally okay. But the products, even my 10-year-old came to me and noticed a difference. That speaks volumes in and of itself when it's making it such a difference in your kids that even they see it. So we have a full and complete line of products. We have meal replacement shakes. We have water enhancers, water mixers, but we have a full line of products and all of them are really, really high quality, which is really great. But let's dive a little bit deeper into the Q Core, which is the company's flagship product, which really if you're not sure where to start, this is a great place to start. This is what I started with. This is what a lot of people start with. And the reasons that everybody needs this, okay? What's in it? It's a trio of 3 different supplements The Q Max Premium, which that one is going to be all of your vitamins and nutrients, like the macronutrients and things like that, that you're going to need, that just isn't present within our food the way that we eat today, the way that commercial farming works. Our soil is nutrient depleted. We just, even if you eat as clean and as healthy as you possibly can, you're still probably not getting all of the nutrients you need. The Q Max Premium is for you. It has made a huge difference with me personally for my brain fog. That's something that can happen really bad with RA, and it happens to me sometimes. I feel like I'm walking around in a haze, and I have felt like alert and with it ever since the Q Max really started moving and grooving for me. And then there is the Align, which that one has some really powerful anti-inflammatories in it. And the thing about inflammation is once you start looking into natural health, you kind of see that inflammation is at the root of a lot of different things. And everyone, especially in our Western society, almost everyone has excess inflammation in their body. So the Align, it helps with joint pain. It helps you just like move and groove a little bit better. And it helps keep all of your systems in your body aligned and not inflamed. And then the Q-Biotics, that one, it has a really powerful prebiotic and probiotic in it. And one of the things I love about our probiotics is that they are shelf stable. So you don't necessarily have to worry about keeping them in the fridge. So I love that. This is a really great place to start. The Q Core is really going to benefit the vast majority of people. With this one, I say, give it a try. You are going to love it. I know I noticed results on this product alone within 3 days. I could tell a difference. And it was so pronounced that my husband, who is not a fan of supplements at all, was like, get me whatever you got because you've been doing really good. So yeah, let's see. Oh, and then our sprays. We have a whole line of sprays from vitamin specific. We have a vitamin C, a vitamin D spray. We have a vitamin B12 spray, which is great for natural energy boost. But this sleep spray is our #1 selling product. I use it at night. I have a really hard time not necessarily falling asleep, but staying asleep. Because when I stay in one place, my joints get really stiff and really achy. And so a lot of times I'll wake up in pain and I'll have a really hard time getting comfortable again. And once I wake up, I cannot go back to sleep. So for me, the sleep spray has been really great. I find that when I use it, I wake up less during the night. I've never been someone who really has a problem falling asleep, but there are so many testimonies of people who this sleep spray has helped them fall asleep faster, stay asleep longer, and it's by far our #1 selling product. Let's see. There we go. And now we're back to Allie.
Thank you, Michelle. Before we get into this part, I'll give you guys my personal testimony. I promised you that I would do that. So, I had already started to get my health under control, obviously, like through the pandemic, buying supplements from a million different places. And like Michelle said, spending a lot of money and getting the wrong ones and then trying to find the right ones. It was stressful, to say the least. So I was very excited for the Q Core because that definitely put everything under one umbrella for me. But the one thing that I still hadn't solved was my chronic illness, which is interstitial cystitis. So without getting into too much detail, it's typically only found in women. I think that there's a few rare cases in men, but it's a bladder like disease. And it's a disease that actually they didn't even know anything about when I was growing up. It was often confused with endometriosis because we're talking that area of the body, we're talking pain and inflammation. Most doctors automatically think endo, but that's not what it was. There's no cure. You can slowly start to see improvement with diet changes and things like that, but I struggled for years. I was diagnosed when I was 14 years old. And through my adulthood, it got so bad that I got addicted to prescription sleep aids. And when I say addicted, I mean, there was no sleeping happening without having that stuff. So the way that interstitial cystitis impacts me is when it's like time for sleep, when my body's like trying to get into rest mode, I will have spasms. They will wake me up all through the night. And there would be times where it would spasm like every 15 minutes. So just as I'm starting to fall asleep, That's when it would happen. And I remember one night so clearly, I did not have any sleep aid, but my dad took the same one that I took. I was laying in bed crying and got up at 3 a.m. and drove to my parents' house for sleep because I knew my dad had the same exact medication that I was out of. That's how bad it was. Obviously, when you're pregnant, you can't really be on sleep aids. So I didn't get much sleep when I was pregnant. And it still to this day will get me up 6, 8, 10 times a night, and it impacts my REM sleep. And I was a walking zombie, you guys. People are like, wow, Allie, you're not a morning person, but even when you do get up, you're tired. And yeah, that was my life. So I have tried other CBDs in the past. I've spent a lot of money actually. It seems like unless you get CBD at a gas station, which I don't recommend, it's going to be really expensive. So everything I was trying was $60, $70, $80 bottles of CBD that did absolutely nothing for me. I didn't really have hope that this would be different, but there were so many testimonials. I figured I would give it a try. I was honestly not even thinking it would help my interstitial cystitis. I was hoping that it was going to just help my overall like stress and anxiety because I do suffer from that. And I took it and I slept like a rock straight through the night for the first time, other than when I had a prescription sleep aid. For the first time in my adult life, straight through the night. I felt like Wonder Woman the next day. Of course, I thought it was a fluke. I thought this cannot possibly be from this CBD oil. I have basically slept like a rock every night since I have had Fuse in my life. So I use the Fuse Rest at night, and then I have the Fuse with silver in it for during the day. And I will swear by this stuff. Obviously, we cannot make any medical claims here. They are our own personal testimonials, but we could get you dozens of testimonials from all of our products across the board of how they have helped people in different ways. So that is my personal testimony that I wanted you guys to hear. Okay, so now let's talk about, like, if you're interested in the business opportunity, how the heck do you earn money? We already established the products for bum.com. If we didn't have awesome products, the compensation plan would be completely irrelevant, but we do. So there are several ways to earn. And actually, Michelle, just go right on to the next slide and we're just going to dive like right into the comp plan. Now, I am not going to go crazy into our compensation plan because you guys, we have an amazing 9-minute video that goes in depth. So if you're that person that's like me and you want all the details, I got you covered. It's fine. Just let us know if you're that person and you're watching and you're like, you know what, like I really do want more info. I want to understand this completely. Just let us know in the chat and we will get you the link to a 9-minute video that explains it in depth. But you're going to see number 1, number 2, number 3, and number 4. I want to jump right to number 4 because hands down, this is what makes us different. There's a couple other things that definitely make us stand out, but number 4 makes us different. You may have heard about incentive trips. You may have heard about a free car. By the way, it's never free, ever. I promise you. It is never free. But a lot of companies have different incentives, and you know, they're incentives that make it look really appealing to want to join the company. They make the people who earn it look pretty fancy. But at the end of the day, a lot of those people really still struggle financially. They live above their means. They have financial issues, even if they're making a ton of money. It doesn't matter. I've met these people. I can tell you personally, we all know them. Number 4 is our financial freedom movement. As of right now, this is just for the United States. Hopefully one day that is going to change, but I just like to disclose that. But number 4, I want you guys to understand when you sign up, whether you plan on ever sharing this with anybody, or if you just plan on signing up so you have access to this, you get a free financial coach from the company. And somebody asked me who signed up recently, she's like, Allie, that sounds great, but why on earth would a company want to do that? What is in it for them? What's in it for them is they truly care about our financial freedom. I believe I heard Jake say, and I don't want to like put quotes around it because he may have not said it with these exact words, but I know he used the word knucklehead. He said, I don't want to be raising a bunch of knuckleheads that are making a ton of money and then blowing it. And I was like, oh my gosh, that right there is so different than anything I have ever heard from any other founder or CEO president from any other company I've been a part of. So much so, and Michelle will shake her head, one of the companies we were a part of wanted us to spend as much money as we possibly could to make our lifestyle look as lavish as we possibly could to try to grow the company. This happens, but it doesn't happen here. So even if you never have a team member, even if you never have a sale, but you sign up as an ambassador, you get a free financial coach. You can schedule a meeting and they literally comb through everything with you and they help you with whatever your goals are. And financial advising, it's really expensive. It's like the equivalent of having a really high-end accountant or an attorney sometimes. And most people can't afford it. And you're getting it for free. So once you do start to move the ranks, the perks of the financial freedom movement go up even more, and they will start to pay off your debt. So you can see at the rank of elite, that $100 there, they're not just giving you $100 into like your bank account. No. They want to pay off your debt. So they're not giving it to you. They're giving it to whatever debt you want to pay off. So for me, I qualify as bronze for $200. I need to fill out my paperwork and I'm going to have it go towards my car payment. So I'm going to continue with my current car payments, but they're going to be putting $200 more a month towards my car payment, and it's going to be paid off that much faster. If you have go back, Michelle. If you have, no debt, they'll start a 401k for you or retirement savings plan. So that is number 4. And I just like to point that out to everybody because quite literally it is one of the main differences between just being a preferred customer and being an ambassador. Okay, so let's talk about the other ways. Like, let's say you want to build a team. Let's say you want to sell. How can you make money? Number 3, take a look at that. I feel like most people, if you've been in corporate America, if you've ever gotten a promotion, they give you some type of bonus. That's exactly what column number 3 is. They are one-time bonuses as you hit various ranks. We want to get money in your hands fast. So if you are able to accomplish the ranks of builder, pro, and executive, which are very, very doable within your first full 30 days. So if you sign up today, you would get the rest of this month and then all of next month. In order to accomplish that, you get just $500 right there for those 3 ranks. After that, you can see the number goes up drastically as those one-time bonuses, and they just keep on getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Then the number 2, that is going to be based on like your overall volume with your team. And I want to point out one thing that makes us drastically different. That monthly commission, that is not an average. That is a guarantee. Most comp plans, first of all, are pages and pages long, but most comp plans, they don't even mention like what the pay looks like at those various ranks. And if they do, it is a range. And I can tell you from personal experience, having been different ranks in different companies, my check was never even within the range that they said it was supposed to be. And it was always below, not above. So this is guarantee. I am the rank of bronze, guaranteed $1,700. If you are the rank of executive, guaranteed $250 hello car payment. So you can see that it's like something that you can rely on, and that is not normal in this industry and definitely makes us stand out. In order to unlock the comp plan, you need 2. That is all. You don't need 10. You don't need 20. You need 2 people that say yes to do this with you. That is it. I'm not going to go past that because our other video goes into more detail, but it's very, very doable. And then the other way to get paid is, of course, customer sales. And that is what box number 1 is all about there. Okay, finally done my spiel there, Michelle. You can go to that next slide. And the last thing that makes us different in regards to how we get paid, we just switched to weekly pay. If you've never done direct sales before, I can tell you this is not normal. It's always a monthly pay. So having, no matter what rank you are, having to stretch the money for the entire month has always been incredibly stressful, especially if you are making this more of a, regular thing that you're really contributing to. Like, it's like, oh my gosh, like it's not paycheck to paycheck where you're getting paid every week. It's like month to month. It's brutal. We just switched to weekly pay. So I've actually already gotten two paychecks this month. It's been absolutely incredible. So this is just kind of giving you like an overall, like what you can expect within the first couple ranks there. If you were to sign up and hit executive, it goes through how the payout would work each week throughout the month. So that is what I got, my friends. I hope that this was informative and helpful. If there's any questions, please, please, please let me know. Already bypassing last month, 20 a month.
There was one question in the chat that I want to make sure I address.
Yes, go
Lisa
ahead.
was asking about, yes, Lisa, I am on DMARDs and biologics. But for me, at least, I was never well controlled on those DMARDs and biologics. I was pretty much maxed out of the medications they can prescribe for RA. Your scenario sounds a lot like mine. Biologics, DMARDs, vitamin D, B12 deficient, fibro, carpal tunnel. That's me. That is me. And the products have helped to the point where I can get up and move around with my kids. I've gone on bike rides with them that I haven't been able to in the past. I don't foresee myself being able to stop medication, but that's for my doctor to decide when she looks at my blood work down the road. But yeah.
If anything can be more controlled, it's worth everything.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes. All right. If there's any other questions, drop them in the chat. If you think of something after you get off of here, please get with the person that invited you and ask away. They can get you connected with us as well if you had extra questions that they weren't able to answer. We are all new and learning here. Everything is moving at such a rapid pace, but pretty much everybody on this call started somewhere around March or April, and we are just running with it. We're running with it because the products are helping us. They're changing our life from one way or another. And we really do see the difference here. A lot of us have been through some negative experiences in the past. And I was like, I was literally this close to saying no because of those past experiences. And the one thing that I just want to leave with you, if that's you, if you've had a past experience, don't let a past experience prevent you from making money for your family today. That is what somebody said to me who wasn't even like considering doing this. And I'm like, oh my goodness, like, you're right. Like, why should I let a bad experience that I had, something that scarred me, stop me from doing something that could potentially change my family's life? And so that's why I'm here today. And I'm so glad that I said yes. I said no at first. And Katie, my sponsor, didn't take no for an answer because she knew that this was right for me. It really was the right timing. And I'm so glad that she pushed me to do it. So. All right. Thank you guys so much for joining us tonight. Again, if you have questions, you know where to find us, and we will chat with y'all later. All right, Michelle, just click the stop recording and then it should save.